Hello, dear friends. I have just been informed that I have lost half of my earnings, probably for talking about Trump. That is why I am asking for help again via the donation button on my blog. Almost all channels live on donations, but I only ask for help in case of need. I must clarify that I don't agree with all President Trump's decision, of course, and that my role is to be neutral, objective and apolitical, but at the same time to validate what I think is right. Opinion piece. Tremendous changes. World trade war. Economic anxiety. Right versus wrong. Change of narrative. Nights of revelation. End of the known world. End of financial markets. Heavy stock market losses. End of geopolitical balance. Full moon in Leo with Uranus. This looks like a global exorcism. Let's start. The phrase tremendous changes is used to describe significant alterations, whether in personal life or on a global level. In the geopolitical sense, the world is undergoing significant transformations that are shaping a new world. The current landscape is defined by a growing fragmentation of global power, tensions between great powers, and shared challenges that require multilateral solutions but face significant obstacles. This is the end of the world as we know it, and the market feels good. The instrument that has been key in the expansion monetary policy of recent times has been the injection of liquidity. This excess of liquidity greases the system, and in turn the system becomes increasingly dependent on said liquidity. This leads us to think that at some point the world will have to be rebalanced. The problem could arise if this lower liquidity were to end up transforming into a liquidity crisis, according to Miguel Roqueiro. According to Poet Dog, we have been mentioning Mr. Apocalypse for more than a dozen years. We may have been practically invisible when his name first began to be heard, but now we see him everywhere in the inner and outer world, and we see two massive armies of humankind marching in opposite directions. One of them is going through stages of awakening, and the other is becoming increasingly robotic, chaotic and insane. This later range has already split into three major tributaries of variations on a theme. As Mr. Apocalypse becomes more and more visible, like an animated character who is channeling an archetype, you begin to see that he has minions radiating from his being to perform specialized tasks. One group are the hooded monks of the Apocalypse. They are like a secret order from ancient days, bringing the light of day that kills that which can only live in the shadow, and they do so by banishing the shadow with light. You could also call them the Knights of Revelation. Imminent reality. I have worked behind the scenes and witnessed the slow but undeniable progress of this global financial shift. The final mechanisms are being put into motion, and the long-awaited reset is no longer a distant promise. It is an imminent reality, says Judy Bington. According to Coach Jerry, there is a direct correlation between our growing understanding and our ability to trust the divine plan. In quotes, my understanding has increased exponentially as I have witnessed the tremendous changes and new levels levels of responsibility taking place. The old questions that plagued my mind before are no longer there. Questions such as why are things taking so long? Why does the coalition seem to be continuing the same thing? I now realize that the plethora of executive orders are designed to lay the groundwork for the next big revelation. It all makes sense now. We can now follow the flow of illicit taxpayer money and see how those funds have been used to promote harm around the world. And more importantly, how those various perverse funding systems will be brought to an end. As the information from the island is released, remember that we have been fooled by elected and unelected bureaucrats who knew exactly what they were doing. Those days are over, fortunately. Transformative passage. Full Moon in Leo by Natalia Alba. We are navigating a transformative, healing and creative passage. A moon that makes a close square with Uranus, the great changer, supporting our journey of personal and planetary liberation, our metamorphosis into crystalline beings. Leo offers us resilience to face our shadows and challenges through the power of heart reconnection and self-illumination. And this is a life-changing passage that will help many of you realign your identity and new path, and others to reclaim their planetary mission, as a massive awakening of our planetary role is taking place at this time. The frequency of Uranus invites us to adapt to change, letting go all resistance to something we cannot control. And that happens when we are ready to embody a higher level of consciousness. Extract from Benjamin Fulford. According to Fulford, the Space Force is beginning to take revenge for assassinating the Trump lookalike on January 29th, after remotely hijacking the Avatar's helicopter and crashing it into a plane in Washington, D.C. The important point is that the real Trump was not on board. This would be the reason why the president has made a 180-degree turn. The real Trump is safe and protected at the Cheyenne Mountain Space Force base in Colorado Springs. His family is aware of what has happened. His top aides are also aware. No one is talking as there is a gag order in effect. He is calculating his next move to take down the dark side cabal. The plan was to manipulate public opinion into anger against Islamic Iran for assassinating the Christian martyr, Trump. Fortunately, people are no longer fooled by events like 9/11, and this scheme was stopped. The Super Bowl proved that people have woken up and are no longer manipulated by fake events and celebrities. For example, Las Vegas casino executives are baffled by the Super Bowl weekend crash. Some are reporting losing days on multiple days this week. Additionally, ticket prices have dropped to their lowest level in 15 years. This is because people have realized that the games have been reached year after year, so that the thing that the most people bet on is the one that loses. Remember that the Super Bowl is registered as entertainment, not as a sport, which means it can be legally manipulated. Reset news. The phrase "game over" was displayed at the Super Bowl. Game over. Suspicious plane flying to Trump and Super Bowl shot down, according to Michael Baxter. Trump and the military saved California from more fiery destruction, according to Michael Baxter. Trump believes that he is in a fight to the death. The establishment tried to discredit and ruin him, imprison and assassinate him. Trump changed the narrative. It's not about left versus right, but about right versus wrong. As crimes are proven, people will see this clearly. Game over. USA funded a giant news platform that extends the censorship industrial complex to billions of people around the world. X22 report. They are panicking because it will be revealed that they are the ones who have kept the money. We are witnessing the second revolution. A fight to death is underway, according to Paul Craig Roberts. Trump says he intends to take government away from the corrupt establishment and put it back in the hands of the people. Trump has launched an investigation into California's high-speed rail, and money laundering will be uncovered. Doge is exposing the entire system. Elon Musk confirms the Fed will be audited. Auditing is reintroduced in a bill. Rapid answer from Vice President Vance at the AI summit in Paris. In quotes, "We have seen hostile foreign adversaries weaponize AI software to rewrite history, surveil users, and censor speech. I want to be clear. This administration will block such efforts. Period." X22 report. This is accelerating. We are within the second revolution. The dark side is drawing in information. The avalanche is accelerating, and they don't know how to stop it. They can't control the narrative. So they will most likely attempt an event when Elon Musk delves deeper into the matter. They are panicking because it will soon be revealed that they are the ones who have kept the money. Get ready for change, as 10 Kingdoms plan is revealed by a Space Commando. Egg holding worsen shortages. There are now new boundaries and more security. Stocks create more fear among shoppers as Costco install Bitcoin ATMs in their stores. New food legislation begins in the EU as maps of the 10 kingdoms reappear and show how they plan to restructure our world. Global gold rush is already underway as Trump prepares for an unavoidable debt reset, according to Mike Adams. There is a massive global panic over gold right now, as London-based metals organizations are carrying out a rehypothecation scheme, lending out more paper gold than they actually have. Institutions, banks, and investment houses are taking physical delivery of as much gold as they can, and this is driving the price close to $3,000 an ounce. Dollars, of course. Economy. Stock soar. Bonds fall on more Trump tariff threats. Bonds extend losses as Powell says no rush to cut. Powell predicts a time when mortgages will be impossible to get. Gold tops 2,900 as China pushes insurance companies into precious metals. London gold shortage, a symptom of global economic anxiety. We are heading towards the most significant silver bull market in history. Trump's crypto company launches strategic token reserve. Small business optimism slides as uncertainty rises. Trump imposes 25% tariffs on steel and aluminium imports from all countries. Canada and EU condemn Trump tariffs, vowed to retaliate. White consumption holds Beijing back in Trump trade war. Jerome Powell tells Congress Fed is in no rush to cut rates and inflation is well anchored. Elon Musk backs Ron Paul's move to audit the Fed. Jerome Powell admitted that they are flooding the system with money created out of thin air. According to RFK Jr., BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard have decided to buy up all single-family homes in the US. Perpetual renters instead of owners sounds like another old-world order scheme. Add down once of a perfect storm for the Trump administration. There is no way to avoid the pain of a global recession, in quotes. Audits. Trump said there was a fraud with Treasury bonds and that we may not have as much debt as they say because of the fraud. It's all about the central bank. A New York judge blocks the audit of Treasury accounts. Trump urges judge to overturn order blocking Doge from entering Treasury. Elon Musk calls for impeachment of Obama-appointed judge who blocked Doge access at Treasury. Doge finds nearly 5,000 media outlets funded by USAID alone. Elon Musk says Doge and Treasury agree on a new anti-fraud measures to claw back $50 billion in payment fraud. Doge's team finds FEMA sent $59 million last week to luxury New York City hotels for illegal immigrants. Doge to scrutinize Pentagon spending after seventh failed audit. Quantum mapping reveals shadow NGO network. A fractal-driven breakthrough has unraveled the financial links between 55,000 NGOs claiming that tax funds flow through Wall Street titans. USA. A significant winter storm threatens Washington, D.C. Western North Carolina finally gets the help it needs. Pennsylvania governor accused of involvement in attempted assassination of Trump. Spending cuts $75 billion saved in 2 weeks. Judge blocks federal government from cutting medical research funding. CNN admit Trump is much more popular now than he was in his first term. Even those who never voted for Trump are supporting the president. Democrats threaten government shutdown over Doge law. Republican senators proposed constitutional amendment to limit size of Supreme Court. 22 blue states signed a secret pact to challenge Trump's immigration efforts and coordinate legal strategies. San Diego supervisor says border is now a ghost town under new immigration policy. Mental health experts warned of a massive increase in despair and burnout among Democrats. FBI finds secret records of JFK assassination. Trump signs order prioritizing settlement of white South African refugees in US over discrimination. Elon Musk calls South Africa's leader a genocidal lunatic for shouting "Kill white farmers." The Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, closes its diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility offices. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.